nasty. He's here, he's ready to pop off, and I lied. Is this elimination?
This is indeed eliminations, and we are jumping straight into it. Also want to quickly mention, it is noteworthy, okay, this might be a button check, but it is noteworthy that Neeze was actually officially crowned the champion or best player of Sweden. There was a Swedish finals LAN tournament, and Neeze came on top of that. Like, pretty much all of the best Swedish players were there. Neeze pretty much, I think, 3-0'd. Most people.
Yeah, and Neeze is the one that has to carry the legacy. He has to carry, you know, all of you guys on his back going into this match. So this is going to be an exciting one. This is a fantastic way to open off. You saw all of the sets that we have coming up today. We don't have a single set that's going to be a sleeper. We're at this point in the bracket where anything can happen at any given moment. Of course, we have our predictions. We have all of our statistics. But at the end of the day, upsets and anomalies happen all the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, especially when you have, you know, two play styles that are very different and two players that might not be very confident or know a lot about each other. But it looks like we are going into the game and we are seeing both of the expected picks coming out. Raydish on that Petra, Neeze on that Mordex, and we are getting ready. 10 seconds into the match, and Raydish is starting to get a little bit of damage on Neeze here.
Yeah, Raydish right now just patrolling the ground a little bit, going to be spacing out some of these downers, occupying the ground. Neeze starts a little bit, but maybe doesn't read the direction of Raydish's dodge. And you know how we said it was winners, then back to elimination? This is actually still winner's side, so no, neither of them have lost the set thus far.
Thank God. I was about to say, like, who took down Raydish and Neeze? There's some real demonness going on in that bracket. Anyway, we are seeing Neeze now turning this around, getting that quick ground pound, finding the KO at orange. Massive start for Neeze here in the first game.
Yeah, just classic gauntlets off stage. At the end of the day, there's a lot of space that you can patrol and threaten and, you know, keep on jumping and clinging to the wall, but now Raydish trying to slap back with a couple of hits of his own. Neeze looking for this next opening, almost has to call out with the neutral, tries to send Raydish back to the offstage dimension.
Lord.
And oh, buddy, Scythe can keep you out there for so long.
Absolutely, sidelight coming out, knocking Raydish away again and again, and Raydish is really struggling here. Raydish is kind of not finding any kind of opening, and whenever he has one, it just misses, like right there. We've seen that happen maybe 5 times in a row. Raydish can't open, and Neeze does not fail to punish.
If there's anything that Neeze is establishing right now, it is his lethality and his ability to find KOs, because we're a minute and a half in, 2 stocks already gone, Neeze is still somehow alive, looking for a nice clean way to be able to land, and just look at it, catch that jump back onto the stage. Neeze is playing solid.
That could have been big. Also, you're seeing right there, Neeze. Raydish actually going to be able to find that ground pound, but one thing Raydish has to worry about all the time is the fact that you're going to have such a hard time KOing Neeze off stage, because Neeze is always looking on how to reverse the situation, and especially on a weapon like Scythe that is extremely lethal. But right now, Raydish has a little bit of something going for him. He's very far behind, but maybe he can put a serious dent into Neeze before it's over, but it looks like that is going to be the KO, and that's a 2-stock for Neeze.
What a way to open off. This is like completely like opposite to everything that which we had established previously. Raydish taking the last set between them 3-0. Neeze taking this one in a dominant, clean fashion. It just looked like Neeze was ready to go, totally warmed up, had all of his follow-ups down, but most importantly, in any platform fighter, the name of the game is not damage, it is about how you close, because you can take stocks off at any single point. Neeze brought consistency onto the table, had a lot of really good reads with Sigs, had a lot of excellent offstage play as well. If Neeze keeps this up, I think we're in for a fantastic set. I'm curious to see how Raydish adapts over this.
Keep in mind also, this is PR6 EU going up against PR3 NA. These are by no means players that are far away from each other skill-wise. This is an even matchup. Raydish has a lot of time still to adjust and come back. And again, this is winner's side, which means that if you win this best of 5 right here, that's you going for from top 32 straight to top 16.
Oh, yeah.
This is massive for either one of their tournament runs.
Oh, and now Raydish just going to be dash jumping all over Neeze. Neeze just coming in aggressively. Both of them are going to be swinging. Raydish is going to be the one sent off stage. Both of them opted to dodge at the same time. Raydish taking so many hits, so many damage, and what a weapon toss as well. Raydish, you just see him. He's trying to run away. He's trying to get some space, but Neeze is not giving him that space.
Oh, my lord, and that's going to be the KO coming out as well. Neeze only taking a couple of hits, and that is a 30-second KO, opting to stick on this Scythe as well, as it has been working out so phenomenally. Raydish needs to be able to bounce back. Raydish needs to find some form of mental reset here.
But again, I feel like the difference in the combo
Okay.
and damage potential,
Beautiful.
and that's what happens when you extend a little bit too much off stage. Raydish was like, hey, you leaned in too much, you whiffed this, I know how to punish this, I know how to get back onto the stage. Excellent stuff.
And I feel like that was a beautiful indicator that Raydish is still in the game. If we just saw Raydish that was panicking and was succumbing to the pressure, there's no way he would be able to do that. But Raydish proving us wrong here, showing that he is here to fight, and he's gonna try to even this out, which he has now successfully done.
Yeah, Raydish right now just slowing down the pace of the game a little bit. Going to be stuffing out one approach with down in, and big combo, big damage, and most importantly has Neeze off stage. Keeps jumping back on so aggressively, and Raydish actually going to be missing the catch on the landing. That does not matter. He sends Neeze off stage yet again. They're scrapping, they're looking. This is just about as even of a game as you can get.
And I feel like as every single time Raydish gets a couple of these hits, Neeze is getting pushed further and further into a corner here, starting to find less and less of these openings. We're seeing way more of a slow game. Before it was always Raydish engaging first and missing, which was allowing Neeze to beat him out. But now we're seeing both of them engage an equal amount. But Neeze is going to be able to find that KO with a beautiful true combo.
I feel like every single time I see that from like Gauntlets, I'm like, that hitbox is a little bit bigger than I thought it was last time.
It's such a good combo. It's such a good combo. But yeah, I agree. It's always a little bit bigger than you think it is.
Yeah, to be able to cover like both jumps and like grounded opponents, especially with like that much horizontal reach, but that does not matter. Neeze is going to be going for it all off stage in case Raydish had, ended up dodging down or doing something. But this is huge damage, just a massive lead. But Raydish going to be keeping that stock count even, keeping his head in the game, making sure this one is not going to end like the last one.
And that's coming out, trying to push him away to get that weapon. It's going to be the gauntlet. What a beautiful nair to hit right before touching the ground. But Raydish is going to be able to knock him off again. Again, keeping it competitive, getting a little bit of momentum, and more combos coming out, building up that damage, recovery up. This is a beautiful opportunity to get that KO, but Neeze is going to be able to reverse it and hit him away. That's the offstage. Could that be the KO?
But actually, the dodge just a little bit long enough to be able to reach, to be able to touch the sides of the stage, and to be able to make it back. Raydish patrolling the ground. Neeze coming back up with the recovery. That's going to be a spike. That's going to be a whiff weapon toss. And surprisingly, Neeze actually going to be missing his button.
Raydish is still going here. He has the orb in hand. He's going to knock away Neeze. This is the best opportunity all game to close this out. But Neeze is going to cover themselves up with a weapon throw to keep themselves safe. A nair is going to be it. And that is going to be 2-0 on the set. Neeze now only one victory away from top 16.
Now, I will say this, I feel like there is immediately a duality that is established. Neeze is the one that is the aggressor. Neeze is the one that I feel like is sort of initiating a lot of these interactions. Raydish is getting caught in like a lot of his like neutral options, getting caught in like quite a bit of dashbacks. Seems like almost like, hey, I can't get space away from Neeze. Neeze is currently up 2-0 in the set, and I feel like one huge thing is just we have to talk about how much more damage Neeze is actually getting per hit. We're still in game number 2, but already we see that Neeze has dealt a cumulative 562 damage. Raydish has dealt a cumulative 480, and I feel like Neeze is always just taking off stocks a little bit sooner. Every single time that Raydish is pressing a button that should KO, like a Sig, Neeze is somehow staying alive each time.
I feel like in general, Raydish right now is just playing the game that Neeze wants him to play. Neeze has been in control throughout all of this. Raydish needs to throw a curveball or change the pacing and tempo of his play to really throw off Neeze here, because we saw that at the start, and that's how Raydish got that initial lead.
So we see this with high PL players all the time. They can lose game 1, they can lose game 2, but what they do best is adapt. So that's the question on everybody's mind. Does Raydish have it in him? Does he have that dog in him, the one that is capable of adapting? Because right now, Neeze just going to be sending Raydish back off stage, forcing out a jump.
Recovery? Oh. I was so expecting a recovery right there, but a recovery wouldn't KO. So Neeze isn't going for it. Almost said Raydish, like combining the two names.
Oh, jeez. So they're just slowing down the pace of the game just for a second. Going to be tossing out that orb, that unreactable mid-range distance. Beautiful little combo. Raydish still not able to close, but what a weapon toss to be able to take that out. Neeze going to be succumbing, and finally, for the first time in this whole set so far, at a deficit.
And I feel like that was such a beautiful example. Raydish went from playing quickly, playing into Neeze, to then changing their tempo, forcing Neeze to adapt at the spot, and Raydish was just able to capitalize off that.
Especially with gauntlets. Tempo change is everything to be able to get your follow-ups, because the whole point is that you can catch a dodge, right, so that you can get next option, and good dodge to be able to avoid that down
options! Raydish is crazy! He saw that from so far away. That is so difficult to do. You have to react so quickly.
Neeze's aggression is working against him. You saw previously how he'd go out there with the scythe. He wants to pick up those early stocks. It worked game 1, it worked game 2. Now, Raydish dodged. Not only did he dodge, he optimized his punish. He got a whole stock off of it at that.
Now, with Raydish having quite a large lead, getting closer and closer to finding this first game, they just have to be careful not to make any kind of blunder, because if they do, Neeze is not going to allow them to get out with a victory here. Now, with both of the players at last stock, Neeze is sticking to that scythe because he knows he's going to be able to get a stock off when Raydish, when Raydish is healthy.
But now, how does Neeze put on all of this damage? You need to start one big string, but Raydish is the one that is clearly in advantage. Looking for that recovery. Neeze has to land with no dodge. Finally has the dodge yet again. Burns it, expends it, waits a little tiny bit. Raydish with the lead is not trying to get reversed with the scythe, and I believe that's going to be the neutralite to be able to take out that stock. This is what I'm talking about. This is the adaptation that high PR players bring onto the table. They might not always start off the hottest, but when they start adjusting their tempo, they start changing up a little bit of how they play in the neutral. I feel like Raydish played beautifully and just obliterated Neeze for any overextension that he could have hoped for.
Absolutely beautiful game coming out from Raydish. Now, the one thing that is on my mind, I was gonna say Neeze might swap Legend, so I think maybe if this goes to a game 5, Neeze would swap Legend, but then again, a lot of people are saying Scythe is extremely strong in clan. Maybe Neeze just needs to change something up in his playstyle here, but Raydish has momentum right now for the first time. He was able to win while he was so far back. Now that he's finally, you know, he has something going for him, I feel like he's only going to be more deadly. Or is that going to allow Neeze to actually start waking up? We're seeing a great start from Neeze so far.
Oh, for sure. Right now, Neeze is going to be looking for another way to pick up the stock. Nice jump call out with that neutral. Nobody's getting any like super big follow-ups. Everybody just dodging past each other. Neeze stuck in a corner though. I believe finally using up that dodge yet again.
Oh my lord.
Gonna be stuck off stage. You have to take all these hits.
Oh, avoiding that recovery just so tightly and then going for that Sair. Now onto the scythe, looking to reverse the situation. Raydish misses the dare. Neeze tries to get the read for the KO, but it's not going to hit.
It's a 50-50. Either you shoot it to the left or you shoot it to the right, and you might have a chance of getting that stock off. But now Neeze coming back onto the stage. That's the reverse potential of Scythe, but that's Neeze's aggression working against him. Can he make it back onto the stage? He cannot. That, again, that same aggression is now working against Neeze. He wants to go for those edge guards, and you respect it. But at some point, you have to chill. You have to reset. You have to just trap on the stage.
So close yet so far away, and you're seeing the biggest difference between this game and the first two games is that before Neeze was forcing Raydish to play a particular way. Right now, Raydish, he just keeps doing what he was doing before, and Neeze is just struggling to get control back.
Yeah, finally going to be one stock on the board here, but I feel like the tides of this have completely turned. Neeze was the one that confidently took game 1, maybe not so much game 2, and Raydish is just slowly getting better and better.
That could have been massive. The dodge is going to touch the ground though, so that was only a couple of second cooldown instead of the long one.
What a catch. Beautiful. Yeah, Neeze right now looking to get something going with all of these anti-airs, and almost, Paulie, do you see how close he is in connecting all of these follow-ups? He is pixels off.
Raydish might not be landing all of his hits, but hey, you're on orb, that's okay. You can get away with a lot of misses. The one thing that you are doing with that is you're actively making your opponent more and more scared to come close to you. And now Neeze is in a stock deficit. He's going to use the Nair GC Enlight to get some damage, but he needs to find this KO without taking too much damage, and it looks like that's not going too well.
I do like how he's using like Sair so often to reposition, but Raydish's catches on like Neeze's landings at this point are pretty phenomenal. Not actually able to get the confirm that time around from, I believe, the GC down like right, but I do like the attempt nonetheless, and tries to go for the end sig, whiffs it, pops it yet again. Raydish is just whiff punishing Neeze all over the place, finally lands aggressively, and almost catches him up there, but just a little bit too high up.
Raydish doing a great job at keeping at sustaining this lead here, building that damage lead. But now Neeze taking that stock down again on the side. Raydish has to be extremely careful because one blunder could be his stock gone. He just wants to find this KO as fast as possible, Dara. You can see he's going for that
Neeze was looking for nothing good. You saw that chase dodge out there. You saw that turnaround. Oh man, Neeze was trying to set up like an immediate edge guard and still continues to do so. Raydish actually going to be able to pop him up with the recovery. We're seeing a game 5. What a better way to open. There is no better way to open off the first set of the day.
There's definitely no better way to open off the first set of the day. Keep in mind, this is winner side game for top 16, and Raydish might be making one of the biggest comebacks. I wouldn't say the biggest comeback in the tournament, but I mean, we're this deep into the bracket. This would be a massive comeback for him and for his placement here. This is game 5. It's all leading us to this moment. After this one game, we will crown a winner of this set.
I just feel like what was working for Neeze in Game 1 and Game 2 is no longer working so much. You saw him have a lot of lethality, be able to get off a lot of early stocks, especially with that aggressive offstage play. Now, that's not coming into play as much. Raydish is the one that's consistently punishing Neeze in the corner.
10 seconds, getting Neeze all the way down to orange while barely taking a hit. Jesus Christ, Raydish. Again, all of a sudden in control of the pace of the game. Look at this, he is forcing Neeze to approach Raydish right now.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, Neeze is struggling to be able to find this next opening. Raydish has adapted on his tempo, on his spacing beautifully. Right now, just looking for any way to be able to catch this landing, but Raydish is just stalling, using everything but the kitchen sink to be able to delay his landings.
Sarah coming out, Neeze getting more and more damage. Raydish is looking for the KO. He's going to get dared off. Neeze was looking to reverse that offstage, but not going to be able to find anything. Raydish has learned from his past mistakes. He's not going to risk it offstage again against Neeze again.
And he tried to come up and above diagonally, but really good spacing from Raydish. I feel like with Orb, he is looking pristine and unstoppable. His spacing, his weapon tosses, his follow-ups, his ability to catch these landings, his ability to catch these dodges. Raydish trying to go for it all with that spike attempt.
Massive combos coming out, now a full stock lead. Neeze needs something big, and he needs it now to be able to take it back. And he's going to knock Raydish off
was
stage.
So close.
That's
still almost connected. That could have been the stock.
That could have been the start of something absolutely great, but Raydish is getting so much better at not getting knocked out off stage. Neeze is just always falling short by Raydish doing a great job at escaping his options.
Yeah, right now Neeze tries to land yet again the weapon toss. That efficiency to both A, starve your opponent of a weapon, B, toss one out of your own, and then C, pick up another. Neeze cleaning up that stock. But I gotta say, that was like such the smallest play from Raydish, but that was just clean mechanically speaking. That execution was fantastic.
Now Raydish still having this massive lead, knocking Neeze off stage, looking for the next KO. But Neeze is going to be able to reverse it, looking for the second dare. Raydish, again, so good at escaping those options. He's not going to be able to find it, and that's a full stock lead. Now Raydish only one KO more away from top 16.
Yeah, right now Neeze has a lot to actually make up at this point. There's so many adjustments that need to be made. Scythe at it yet again. Neeze slowing down the pace of the match. Nobody wants to commit. Nobody wants to approach. This is 2022 neutral, baby. We both flick left and right in one side of the stage.
Looking for some kind of opening. Neeze is going to be the one to find the punish, but now Raydish with the advantage on the side. Neeze is going to be able to reverse it though. Side stick isn't going to connect. Raydish isn't falling for any of these tricks anymore.
Yeah, not at all. Neeze has not been able to connect a single one in so long, but going out there for the chase dodge, it goes out there for the recovery as well. Tosses out the side just to be able to carve, to be able to cut through and find himself a landing, find himself an opening kill, jumping in, empty hopping. Nobody wants to commit because you already know the combo potential from both of these players.
He's desperately trying to land here, having a really hard time to do so against Raydish, which is just patrolling the ground. Always bouncing around, but always bouncing around above Neeze or waiting for him to land. And it looks like we're getting closer and closer to Neeze going down, but he's not going down without a fight. He's still in this. He's going to end Raydish out, and there is still a chance.
There is a chance, albeit slim, especially with Scythe. Neeze can get Raydish off stage, but Raydish is playing patiently. Raydish is playing slowly. Nobody wants to commit to anything. Catching that dash in. Oh my gosh, but not going to be tossing the weapon. I don't know if that was a mistake or not, so maybe try and starve your opponent. But now Raydish with gauntlets in hand can be so volatile, just going through all of these weapon tosses. Neeze trying to get something going here. That didn't connect.
Sarah's going to be massive now. If Raydish can catch this landing, so close with that end light, but Neeze is going to be able to turn it around, and Neeze has barely been hit, taking Raydish all the way down to orange. He knows about the weapon throws. Raydish, you've already hit him with 3 of those. Neeze isn't going to fall for anymore, and Neeze is going for the offstage. Just a couple of hits more.
But Raydish makes it back on, and just barely avoiding the stairs. Is that going to be the combo? Yes, it will be. Raydish makes it back on against all odds. Back onto stage against Scythe, and takes it in the reverse 3-0 against Neeze, who, if I'm Neeze, man, I'm just like, so close. I tasted that win. I tasted that dub. I tasted that revenge set against Raydish, who knocked me out of mid-season champ. Does a beautiful performance from both players. But ultimately, I just think Raydish brought a little bit more consistency, stability, and adaptation onto the table.
An insane comeback coming out from Raydish, adapting so well to Neeze. They was really, really close there at the end, but, you know, that weapon
Look at
throw.
that. Look at the weapon throw.
It was too close. Weapon throws, I think, takes like, I don't know, 5-10 frames before they activate. If you're stacked, weapon throw isn't going to connect.
I just feel like maybe the best choice would have been to try and like weapon throw from the stage itself, just because like you don't want to really commit out there. The reason that he's lost the stock wasn't through the weapon throw, but maybe more so for actually committing off stage.
Yeah, the thing is you don't want to commit too hard, so a weapon throw is a great option. You know, you can of course look back at the replay. Asair would have secured Neeze a victory there, but it's just maybe a little too much of a commitment. But at the end of the day, Raydish is going to be taking that home after an insane turnaround with 611 damage on the orb, by the way. He went so much from honing in on both of his weapons and having a balanced playstyle to just finding what kind of tempo to use on the orb and using that all the way throughout.
Because you just saw his combo ability and specifically his spacing. The way that he was using Sail in the very like top hitbox of it to be able to also thread in a little bit diagonally, Neeze could not land. Neeze simply could not land for like a good chunk of that set. Raydish just made it as difficult as possible. The orbs were like a fantastic choice. The Goblin Stick didn't do that much work aside from a couple of funny little weapon tosses that last game especially. But again, beautiful stuff to Neeze and Raydish. Both Raydish is going to be progressing on through winner's side.